Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So let's just dive in. And first off, I just want to give you guys a quick warning. I do see comments quite a bit on my QNT videos where people are like, where can I stake QNT? Currently, there is no QNT staking. Please be aware that anything that's telling you like stake your QNT now, click this, click that, or they're sending you a link to something, whatever, do not click anything. Please make sure that you are double checking, even triple checking every single URL before you click it. You could scan it. There's URL scanners online as well that you could scan URLs and it will, see if it's phishing or malware, all that. Just please be aware at this time in this market, there is so much, there's so many scams going around. There's so much, it's ridiculous at this point. Just so please be aware of that. But we do see from Greg Glenn 27, we were seeing beware. There's an elaborate scheme going or scam going around. That is a link to stake your QNT. And this is the account. It's Overledger, except the L is an I. And there's a lot of other major accounts out there that are doing it as well. Please be aware of this. Even Gilbert Verdian posted a few accounts that are trying to scam as well. I have many accounts that are also tied to even Ncash Official. People are trying to imitate me and trying to scam. So please be aware of that. I will not DM you, and please do not click any links unless it is posted by a legitimate account. Make sure that you are scanning it as well. Make sure that it's not a malware link or anything like that, because right now is like a crucial time to be on top of security and really kind of double check everything. Trust me, guys, you do not want any of your QNT or anything stolen from you. So please just be aware of that. Now, with all that in mind, let's dive into the price action of QNTs. So my demand zone is still down here in the $60 to $70 range. A lot of people have been asking me, like, Nick, do you see it going back down there? It doesn't really matter what I see. Listen, when I look at the chart for QNT, I know that back here in October, we topped out at about $230. Everybody was very, very bullish back here. Everyone was saying like new all-time highs. They were screaming for it. And it's interesting because we topped out nearly on the same exact topping point of the December 12th, 2021 candle on the 3-day span, which was sitting right around like $236. So we missed it slightly. You could argue that we topped out on the 3-day candle like December 9th. Doesn't matter. That's where we topped out. And since then, we've been in a downtrend and we've been fighting against massive resistance. So we'll most likely come back down and test a nice demand zone. Now, where am I looking at in order to really kind of see where we are going to target? So first off, the first thing that I'm looking at right now is the fact that we are on some strong support. This is the support zone that has held up on the 3-day span of like November 18th and November 2020 or November 21st. So this is a strong support zone. It has held in the past, but the big deal to me that I'm watching for on QNT is targeting the 702, which is at $96, almost $97. This is where I will most likely be making my first, purchase on QNT yet again. I have not bought since going all the way back to the summertime. So back here, I wasn't buying anything up here. I did not feel comfortable enough to buy up here. I will be waiting to see if the 702 does get targeted. Now, also with that in mind, comes the 786, which is at $80. Are we going to retest this? It would be a perfect test to see if this is going to actually be targeted. Just to give you guys a quick insight on the price range from our topping point back in October to where we are even currently. So right now we're down about 54%. On the bottom candle here, we were down like 55%. On the candle recently, we were down 59%. This would be about a 64, almost a 65% correction down to the 786. Now to my levels down here that we don't know if they will be targeted or not, it's almost like a 70 to about 73% drop on QNT. Now, is this going to happen? We don't know. It's a hypothetical level that is a major demand zone that we have been waiting to see if it will be targeted. In my opinion, when we look at the volume into QNT, it has been diminishing. I mean, honestly, we topped on the volume on the on balance volume back in October. October 19th was the highest on balance volume that we've seen. Since then, we have been dropping pretty, steady. Right now, we're kind of just sideways here. So we're watching the on balance volume. We're seeing a lot of we're basically watching to see if we see a massive amount of volume out on QNT that would push us lower. But a big factor here is the QNT Bitcoin price chart, because this is what really determines what's going to happen next. And the biggest issue that I see on this chart on the 3-day span is the 53-day EMA, which is that yellow line that we are on right now. So it's either like it's almost like make or break right now for QNT, because the last time that we were actually trailing below this line was going all the way back to June of this year. See, this is the thing that's very interesting. A lot of people ask me, like, why is QNT pumping? Why is QNT pumping? They were asking me since June, right? This is why. The strength opposed to Bitcoin. But now that we are starting to see Bitcoin kind of come back down, we just recently seen it, pump up a little bit. Bitcoin itself has been gaining quite a bit of dominance over this market, and we're starting to see that with altcoins dropping versus the Bitcoin pairing. This is what determines how strong an asset is compared to Bitcoin. The Bitcoin price chart is very important to watch, especially as everyone's screaming like, new all-time highs and all that kind of stuff. Now, the biggest problem on this price chart, like I've seen on even the USD chart, is on-balance volume. I mean, this is diminished on-balance volume. And if we do break below the 53-day EMA, this would be concerning because, like I said, we haven't been trailing below it since going all the way back to June of 2022. We slightly dipped below it on November 12th, but this looks pretty rough, to be completely honest with you guys. On the daily, we have a little bit of a different story. It looks like we could come back down to test the 200 daily EMA at about 6,000 sats. Real quick, just from our level here down to that level, it would be about a 6% drop, so it's minimal. But I think that the biggest sign here on if we are going to continue lower on the Bitcoin price chart as well as the USD chart is breaking down below like 6,200 sats, which is a little bit of a support range that we've seen on these candles from November 13th and 14th. And it's also the support zone from September 27th. So we're watching QNT closely to see if we could buy in on some nice lows. That is what I have been watching for as we are waiting for price action to drop down a little bit. We are seeing quite a bit of social volume. This is because probably a lot of people are calling out the QNT scammers. There is quite a bit of them, but we are seeing quite a bit of social mentions, as you guys do see. And on the 7-day average, we're actually seeing a 2,000%, 2,500% above average, which is incredible. And then over here, I do want to share with you guys real quick the holders tab. So don't worry about the max total supply. This is also taken into accountability the amount of QNT that was burned. But we do see the overall holders tab up about 0.31%, nothing too crazy, but we are up to 106,000 holders. Pretty incredible to say the least. And you can see the movement in just the last couple of days. I mean, starting out on December 5th, we've seen about 100,397 holders. So we are up 6,000 holders in about like roughly 14 days, so 2 weeks, which is pretty crazy. And also, by the way, for anybody who wants to track the trades and the information and like all that, you can check out the contract on Etherscan and see all the transactions here. And it does show quite a bit of what's happening. So yeah, this is a great way to not only track that, but also track the holders tab, because this is the fully updated view on the holders, which is more logical to look at on Etherscan than anything else. Now, also, as we are talking about QNT and, as we start to see things unfold within this market, why do I think that QNT is one of the most incredible purchases when it does drop, or even if it does go even lower than where we are at now? Because again, when we look at the USD chart for, USDT chart for QNT, I'm looking to see if we can get in on some of these nice lows because it's an incredible opportunity. Again, anything under $100, I always say, is like a perfect opportunity to get into QNT long term. A lot of the purchases that we have made in the past, at the levels that I feel confident that will come, I think are going to be incredible ROI, perspective. So when we look at that, why do I believe that? Well, look at everything that is happening behind crypto. Look at everything that is happening behind DLT. One of the biggest subjects on this channel is talking about CBDCs. When we go over here to the news tab on the Digital Pound Foundation, this takes all the news from almost all of the major outlets in crypto, like Blockworks, Bitcoin.com, etc. Check everything that is happening. So not only are we seeing stablecoin adoption, we're seeing stablecoins, being discussed about revolutionizing foreign aid, transactional overseas, all that kind of stuff. Like, things are moving very, very fast around digitization, and it really opens the door for something like QNT to evolve into a massive giant, because at some point in time, it's inevitable that we will need interoperability on a global scale, specifically plug and played into the legacy system, because everything that we have seen in just the last couple days, I mean, like, go back 6 days ago, right? So 6 days ago, well, we don't even have December 10th. So we'll just go back 3 days ago. Here's the last 3 days. So, or last 4 days, technically speaking. So when we look at what's happening around crypto in the last 4 days, so we had Bank of England opens applications for a proof of concept CBDC wallet. Bank of Canada plans 2023 CBDC consultation as it moves to development. Australia's CBDC partner sees advanced economies issue and wholesale CBDCs first. The United States is developing a bank-to-bank digital currency. Argentine province of San Luis to issue dollar-pegged stablecoin and local art NFTs. And then, can stablecoins revolutionize foreign aid? And this is just in the last 4 days. Like, this is incredible. And if you go back, right, if you scroll down and you just go back to like the beginning of this year and you look at all of the announcements that we have seen, you could see everything. Like, how many of these discussions were CBDC? 80 discussions around CBDCs. And this only goes back to June. It's not even loading everything. But since June, we've seen over 80 plus documents labeling CBDC adoption, plans around CBDCs, wholesale CBDCs, expediting CBDCs. Like, you could see everything happening around fiat, around currencies, stablecoin, right? Check out stablecoins. There's over 27 discussions around stablecoins on here. And this is happening at such a rapid pace that nobody's really looking into this. Nobody's focusing on this. But what's crazy is that everyone is trying to, like, anyone that knows about CBDCs, anyone that knows about what's happening, everyone is trying to jump on the, okay, what DLT is going to be used? What DLT is, like, who cares, right? Who cares what DLT is going to be used? How about investing into the infrastructure that will allow all of this to be realized in? See, that's the thing. Like, QNT to me is what's going to realize a lot of these like major moves and innovations in. Like, you need something to be able to plug and play with CBDCs through the legacy system. You need something that will be able to plug and play stablecoins, commercialized stablecoins, government-backed stablecoins into the legacy system. What's allowing for that to happen? Quant. And what's crazy is that, like, we already know about this. Go check out the memberships behind the Digital Pound Foundation, the Digital Euro Association. I mean, like, yeah, sure, these are think tank companies, but these are companies that are pushing and moving and advancing CBDC technology innovations. And guess who's a partner of them? Quant, Ripple, Modular, Accenture. These are just a few of the major names tied to the Digital Pound Foundation. And it's crazy that no one is realizing that these are like the core players around everything happening within finance. You could see everything. You could see the major players like Citi. Citi has been pushing around crypto for so long. And the most insane thing to me is how many individuals have visited the website around the Digital Pound Foundation. Only 73,000 website visitors. This is a website that has been up since like 2021. And it's been up for over a year, right? They launched in October of 2021, and there's only been 73,000 website visitors. So you could tell just how early we are on not only things happening around the world with digital currencies and digitization around fiat, but also think about how early we are on Quant. Like there's only 106,000 holders of QNT. And we know that this has 33% less supply than Bitcoin. So when we look at the overall price here, first off, just go back to the all-time highs. Back to the all-time highs. You know, we're down currently 75% from the all-time highs. You know, if we see any of these lows being targeted, like down here, you know, you're looking at 83.5% to 86%. Right now, we're 75% down, which means technically this level that we're at is actually a very good level to start averaging in. I'm focused on a few of these demand zones down here. Like, I would love to see the $83 level target, which would be an 80% drop. It would be a retest of this demand zone that we've seen in the past test it. I'm loving the QNT drop. I'm loving the QNT pullback. And I do think that if you believe in the future around crypto, if you believe that we need interoperability because crypto will be so big to the point that they will want to adopt it into their system, which, hey, here's a secret, they already are trying to do this, then you know that QNT Quant will play a vital role in the next evolution of finance. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys have more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, hope that you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this before. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.